All righty, welcome into the Gary Ayd Show here on the Cave, cavetalkradio.com and the Cave Talk Radio app. Great to have you aboard. Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Check us out in Apple CarPlay. That's actually my favorite place to listen to some of the other great shows on the Cave. It's not just the Gary Ayd Show. Oh, no. We got Scott Farrell from 4 to 6. And if you ever are just feeling like you're a jerk, if you want to feel better about yourself and you really are a jerk, trust me, he's a bigger jerk. Just listen to him for 5 minutes and you'll feel a lot better about yourself. Oh, but he's funny. He sounds like Kermit the Frog. Rich is laughing. He knows I'm right.
Oh, yeah.
But he's an absolute trip. He's a great radio talent. He does it on 4 to 6. Rick Tittle follows us. Of course, Ron Barr comes on beforehand with great sports interviews. He just sounds like your grandfather telling you sports stories. Ron is tremendous. So a lot of great options. It all works great with Apple CarPlay. Yes, sir. Apple CarPlay is the way. All right, so we got a lot to get to today. First, really important stuff. Baseball. What? It's just snowed. Oh, yeah. Well, they're just getting around to telling us who the awards are. I guess they had them on ice, and the ice started falling from the sky, so they figured, we better get these out before it melts. Give me a break with this nonsense. Can we please do this at some point of relevancy? I understand the concept behind trying to elongate your relevancy, and I do appreciate, as a radio host who needs content every day, they're putting this out when they do, because it gives me something to rant and complain about every year, and I'll do this once a year until they change it willingly. So mark your calendars, November 16th, 2022. In about a year's time, we'll have the same conversation, because it's just dumb. I mean, like, the last thing in the world I'm thinking about as I'm shoveling off my porch and wiping off my car is, gee, who won baseball awards? You know what would get me excited about baseball? How about turning on the stove? As in the hot stove. Used to be the hot stove in the winter. Now it's the ice box. Nothing happens in the winter anymore. They wait to the spring when it's like almost time for games. Now I don't care about the hot stove. You missed your opportunity. When do you use the hot stove? In the winter when it's cold so you can warm people's spirits. No. They keep this on ice, and then they release their awards during the ice box. Give me a break. And, like, not for nothing, I'm a Met fan. Of course, everyone knows this. I feel so unfulfilled with Buck winning the Manager of the Year. He probably deserved it, but after the way they finished their season, it just feels anticlimactic. The whole thing is crazy, Rich. I mean, we're still, a few days away from getting the rest of these things? What are we talking about? It's going to be Christmas. I'm going to get under my tree for Christmas this year is going to be an MVP for Aaron Judge. What are we talking about? My God.
I don't know about hot stove, but I tend to keep a hot plate and fork with me wherever I go, because you never know when they'll come in handy.
Well, I got it on ice today. Iced coffee, baby.
Not me.
Hot and ready.
Not me. We're going to get 3 feet of snow here off the lake this Friday.
3 feet?
Calling for 2 to 3.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And, of course, I have a game in Erie Saturday.
Oh, baby. You calling it play-by-play?
Yeah, that may not happen.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
And we've already discussed it, and they know.
That's wild.
And are making contingencies in case, but I hope it's overblown, as a lot of these things are.
Yeah.
Speaking of overblown, I'm with you on this. Yeah, I'm happy for Showalter.
Me too.
I'm really happy for Cleveland.
Terry Francona won Manager of the Year in the AL. Yeah.
2 guys really deserve.
No question.
Even though their seasons didn't end the way they wanted them to. Tremendously deserving.
No doubt.
But I shouldn't be hearing this on November 16th.
It's so true. And, again, like I said at the start of my little thing there, I really do understand the logic behind it, because the NFL does this to an extent.
The NFL does it well.
Right. That's right. The NBA pulls it off a little bit with the way they stagger their rookie lottery, then the draft, then free agency. Their awards are mixed in there. The NBA does it okay. Baseball can't get away with this because they don't build individual stars. You know why it works for the NFL? Because high draftees are stars before they get into the league. You know why it works for the NBA? Because these guys are stars.
Right.
I could walk into Mike Trout and trip over him walking down the sidewalk, and I wouldn't know who I tripped over. Like,
he's a nice guy, so he'd probably help you up.
he'd probably help me up, and he might even give me a tip, right? You know, it's like,
you know when would have been a great time to do this? The 5-day lull between the
yes, that would have been great.
AL and NL finals and the World Series. Perfect time. Stay relevant for those 5 days instead of making us forget that baseball was still going to happen.
Who cares at this point? I mean, like, it's so far gone. It's so far in the rearview mirror. Look, I'm gearing up for like winter football. I'm thinking about Thanksgiving football. I'm not manager of the year. What? The season's half over. Oh, you mean we're talking about baseball? What? Like, come on, man.
I'm peering ahead at the NBA schedule, wondering if all 5 of these games are going to have relevancy by Christmas.
Yeah, that's something to look into. That's true.
The last thing I'm thinking about is baseball, and I love baseball.
Oh, we both do.
Oh, by the way, and you're worried about content? I'm not just every once in a while anymore, my friend. You have Mr. Content here. Don't worry about a thing.
All right. We need to get Rich his own rant every day. Coach's corner or something.
God, no. The world's not ready for that.
Don't wait too long. Oh man. But I'll tell you something.
Are you implying I don't have too long? Do you
I'm
know
saying,
something I don't know?
No, I'm saying let's get this out there. I mean, I know you have it in you. I don't want to keep people in suspense. We'll be like the baseball awards. It will be passé. Gotta get to it, man. Let's go.
Yeah, but I seldom do a better rant or would than you do on a daily basis.
Well, I'm a little bit crazy, so
that's a gift.
I'm a little bit crazy. What can I tell you? But I think about these things. It's like, man, I love baseball so much, and I wanted to see it do well so bad that when they do boneheaded things like this, it just ticks me off because it's just so obviously stupid. Like, it's one thing to make a impossible to foresee mistake. Like, I'll give everyone a pass on how they handled the COVID situation. Pretty much the whole world screwed it up. We handled it completely the wrong way. We did far more damage with the lockdowns than we preserved, most likely. But, you know,
I think there should have been some, but they should have been strategic.
I'm not going to blame baseball.
Nursing homes, things like that, not the entire world.
Well, it was the whole world, right? There was no, like, strategery around it, to use a slang term. But, like, this is such an avoidable, self-inflicted. It's not, I don't want to say it's a wound. I don't want to make it like, you know, overly dramatic. I don't want to engage in hyperbole here. But like, the truth is, this could have been a moderately good asset. To your point, Rich, I think you nailed it. I think it's exactly the perfect time to have released this. You have 5 days. It was still pretty early in the NFL season. There wasn't a lot going on. The NBA had barely tipped off. Like, do it then. Or even, you know what? Do it in the 3 days between the regular season ending and the start of the playoffs when it's really top of mind. Either one would work. Maybe.
Yeah. I chose those 5 days because it was so long between.
It was.
The CSs in the World Series.
That would have been perfect. I think that or right after the season before the start of the playoffs. Either one would have been fine.
Yeah, I'll take either one. In fact, when you had to step away yesterday, I did the Rookies of the Year in both of the leagues.
Was that officially announced?
Yes.
Who won them? I missed that.
Oh God.
Put him on the spot. Well, you
Rodriguez from Seattle.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Obvious.
Yep.
There's only 4 guys in the whole league that had over 25 homers.
Did your boy from Pittsburgh get some votes?
No.
That's
I don't know if it was because he was a little over a half-season rookie.
Yeah.
But he should have. But the 2 guys from Atlanta, Thomas and Strider.
Oh, Strider's a beast.
We're 1 and 2.
Who won
the
it?
last
Thomas?
time? The last time that happened was also with the Braves about 11 years ago, and then it hasn't happened before that. So that's interesting, and that's how you build a farm system.
No, I mean,
and
Strider's
one of the guys
beast.
one of the guys that far back was Freddie Freeman.
Way back in the day. Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth all of 10
See,
years
I
ago.
burned my notes, so I don't.
He
I don't
burns it.
have them with
You
me.
have the paper shredder company come up and pick up your papers every day.
Oh,
All
it's
official.
cold outside. I start fires.
That's right. Well, you do a better job of creating a hot stove than baseball does these days. By the way, getting to the managers of the year real quick. Not only are they both deserving, but they're both the type of managers that are difference makers. Like that's what I love seeing, difference makers win these awards rather than people who had like quote unquote the best season, or in the case of managers were, on the best teams, whatever. I love when I see guys who I think add win totals to their team's win column every year win these things, because these guys are difference makers. Make no mistake about it. You could probably give about 10 wins a year to Buck Showalter and Terry Francona easily.
Yes.
With the decisions they make, the leadership they have. They are true difference makers. And there's really only, 5 of those guys in baseball right now? I mean, there's not a lot of managers you would say are difference makers. Let's run through them real quick before break. Francona, Buck, Dusty, I would say, right?
And would anyone have been surprised if Dusty got it?
No, and that would have been fine. Alex Cora, I think, is a difference maker. Am I missing anyone?
I think we have another one coming back in this year.
Bruce
Bochy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if this year that just finished is those 4, is there even a 5th?
St. Louis?
Oh, that's not Schnitger. What's his name?
No, although Schnitger
Schnitger maybe.
Could be. I can't remember the guy's name from St. Louis, surprisingly, because I pay so much attention to them.
But it's a very short list.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Johnny paper pushers managing baseball teams right now. And so it's nice to see one of those actual difference makers. And what's funny is the average age of these difference makers is probably about 67. These guys are all like been around forever.
They're lifers.
Yeah. Almost every one
and
of them.
Francona have been around forever.
But
they're both great managers.
Oh, they are. They've been around forever, and Dusty Baker was around before the dawn of time. Like,
yeah.
And then Schnitger is the young buck. He's like 62, going on 80. He always looks pissed off. I was watching a game with my wife earlier in the season. It was the Mets and the Braves. It was that pivotal end of season game, end of season series. And she's like, she doesn't really watch baseball. She goes, the Mets were winning at the time. She goes, why does he look mad? Isn't his team winning? I was like, he's a manager. That's their job. They're always cranky. I said, watch the next guy because the Braves are up. I said, watch the next guy. His team's winning. He's going to look mad when they cam to him. They move the camera over to him like an inning later. And I say, see, I told you, they're always pissed off. That's just what they are. They're managers.
That's what makes them managers.
They're permanently grumpy. That's why they all age, because they're always upset. All right. Well, we got a lot left to get to. We got the question of the day. We got our NFL power rankings today. We'll take a look at some NBA games, some hockey notes, news and notes, all kinds of good stuff. The top 5, of course. A lot to get to. Just getting rolling. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
All righty, it's time for the radio question of the day here on the Gary Ayd Show.
NASCAR is trying something new in the Windy City. I am KO, back in 1 minute with your sports question of the day.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, you may qualify for a free continuous glucose monitor system. Managing your diabetes is crucial to your health. The new CGM systems can automatically manage your diabetes better for you. And by using a CGM system, you can eliminate forever one thing most people with diabetes hate the most: finger sticks. Now it's possible to manage your diabetes better, end the painful finger sticks, and get a new CGM monitoring system at little or no cost to you. We even provide in-home delivery and do all the insurance paperwork for you. Now is the best time to manage your diabetes better and get your continuous glucose monitor. Call 800-438-1391. That's 800-438-1391.
In early July, NASCAR will be bringing its first street circuit race to the streets of Chicago. Race weekend will play host to a NASCAR Cup Series race and an Xfinity Series race. The Windy City Circuit is a 2.2-mile track spanning across some of Chicago's most prominent backdrops, like Grant Park, Columbus Drive, and Lakeshore Drive. Sports Business Journal reports NASCAR has already opened an office in Chicago in a bid to start building community ties, and that means race fans can expect to see a large NASCAR presence at the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Question: which NASCAR event would you most like to attend? Daytona, Chicago, or Indianapolis?
I'll tell you what, that's actually really cool. Because I'm not a NASCAR fan, but most of the NASCAR races that I'm aware of are street races are in like backwood rural areas. You know, is it Glen Haven or no, it's what is that? It's something Glen. Watkins Glen. Yes. Chicago, a street race that's not drag racing and drug deals? Cool. A legal street race in Chicago for a change. Let's go.
I would like that.
I'm down because Chicago, to me, is like New York, but refined. And when I say refined, I don't mean it's necessarily nicer, but just because of geography, it's so much bigger space-wise and so much broader that it feels so less clustered. So an event like this would go off really good on those wide streets in downtown. I don't know exactly where in Chicago they're planning on having it, but I'm a fan. And Toby's a fan too. He's here for this. So
I'm not a NASCAR fan.
Me either, really.
I prefer Formula One in that because I love street racing. And what they do in Toronto every year is so cool. And the way it's laid out is perfect. And it's like a little mini tour of the city.
Yeah, that's cool.
If they do the same thing in Chicago, especially adding Grant Park in the downtown area, that's going to be incredible because Chicago is scenic.
It is. Love Chicago.
I'd be all for that. That would be the NASCAR race I would go to.
It's one of the great cities I've been to. As much as it has its problems that are well publicized, Chicago's a cool city.
It's not the only city that has them.
No, in fact, they all do.
Yeah.
I mean, San Francisco gets to call Nancy Pelosi home. Like, wait. You got talking about problems.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Kind of said that in an opposite order, but I'll take it.
We did, yes.
I got a trivia question for you, not to change this subject.
What do we got?
Buck Showalter is the first person to win Manager of the Year for 4 different franchises.
Ooh.
Name them.
Well, I know 3 for sure.
Okay.
The Mets, the Orioles, and the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think where else he managed.
Those are the easy 3.
Texas.
You got it.
Yes.
Okay, you nailed that easily.
Yeah, Texas. I was trying to think of where else he managed. Yeah, no, he's been great, man. I want him to win a World
Wherever
Series.
he's gone.
Oh, he's always good. And like he is like the Dr. Phil of baseball. He's a reclamation manager. He comes into messes and cleans them up. Yeah, he's great. Dylan just checked in the chats. I think it's time to remind him his Eagles lost to the Commies.
I think some he knows shade by now.
Throwing some shade. I know. I'm just giving him a hard time. He threatened to delete Facebook before that happened. I was talking to him during the game, and he's like, "Yeah, if they lose this game, I'm deleting Facebook. I don't want to hear it from people." So I gotta give him a hard time. But
you could always just mute your account.
That's right.
You don't have to delete.
Just mute. No, but I think Chicago would be a great place to watch a street race like that.
Yeah, it would. It would. That would be one I would go to.
Well, I got 2 quick questions for you since we're talking about Chicago. Chicago or New York pizza?
There's no contest.
It's New York pizza. Okay.
It's New York pizza.
Better question. I think more competitive.
I know people that love Chicago pizza and bless their hearts for it, but I don't want to feel like I'm eating sauce and cheese on top of a loaf of bread.
Fair enough. Maybe more competitive. A Brooklyn dog or a Chicago dog? Much tougher decision.
Oh.
They're both good.
They're both great. Chicago dogs, because of the way they load them. I don't like everything on a Chicago dog, but the combination of flavors is perfect.
It works. The differentiator for me on a true Chicago dog is when they have the sesame seed. The poppy seed roll. The poppy seed roll. New York pizza is good, but Jersey pizza is fire, Benji says. Appreciate you listening, Benji. Jersey pizza is good. I guess I kind of lump Jersey pizza and New York pizza, and maybe I guess you could say Connecticut. It's kind of like Northeast pizza, right? Like it's New York style pizza. But
we have a lot of that here.
Yeah,
in
right.
Buffalo.
Up in Buffalo, right.
A lot of New York style pizza.
Buffalo is the one Western New York city that gets New York style cuisine right. I've been through Rochester, not so much. Syracuse, I'm much more familiar with from my time in Oswego. And of course, I lived in the vicinity of Buffalo for a few years. Buffalo is the only city in Western New York that I've spent significant time in that I felt at home at culinary wise.
Yeah.
Philly cheesesteak is only good in Philly.
We do. We get the pizza. We get the delis. We get a lot of the.
You do.
A lot of the things that New York
plenty
gets.
Of good hot dogs, good bagels.
Yes.
You know,
Philly cheesesteak. I've had good other places. I've only had great in Philly.
Yeah, it's really good. The closest Philly cheesesteak out of Philly that I've had that was awesome was in, believe it of all places, I had it in Atlanta. I had it at this random place. I don't even remember the name of it. But it was like a quick cafe inside of a an office building, and it was just amazing. Wow. Just a crazy thing. So really
the last time I was in Philly, it's the first thing I did. I went, there's 2 places you can go. I go to a different one each time.
Yep.
But
I'm a fan of Geno's. That's the one I like the best.
Yeah,
usually.
I do too.
They cut their steak a little. They mince it a little bit smaller,
Mm-hmm.
and I like that cheese sauce.
Oh, yeah.
It's the
And
best.
that's the first thing I do when I'm there.
I mean, of course it is.
You have somebody ask you, Liberty Bell? I'm like, cheesesteak.
Come on.
Sorry.
The crack will be there later. I'm hungry.
And
Let's go.
yes, I've seen the Liberty Bell. So
That's it. There we go. All right. So we're both a fan of street racing in Chicago. Good question today. Let's take a break. We'll come back. When we do, let's turn our attention, let's say, to our NFL power rankings. How's that sound?
Oh, that sounds fantabulous.
There we go. That's up next. The Gary Ayd Show, back after this here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All right, we're back. Gary Ayd, Rich Anselmo, and it's time to do our NFL power rankings. Rich, lead us off.
In the number one spot, I have the Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh.
Yeah, putting a 2-loss team ahead of 2 1-loss teams. Yes. They're consistently the most impressive team to me.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Number 2, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. I saw a couple of polls that had the Vikings first. I'm like, no, they lost to the Eagles, and they're lucky they won a game this past week. 3, I do have the Vikings because they are a 1-loss team, and they win their close games.
Mm-hmm.
4, the Miami Dolphins. Yes, those Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
They're leading the AFC East, and there's a reason they are. A couple of reasons. They're explosive offensively. Miami leads the NFL in yards per pass attempt, and they play solid defense. 5th, I have Buffalo. No, it's not. We're all doomed here, and we're going to die. They'll right this ship. I have confidence. In fact, I wish Miami was coming up here this week when we're expecting those 2 to 3 feet of snow. 6, I have the Baltimore Ravens.
You got the Ravens at 6. Okay.
They're just playing solid football.
They are.
7, I have the Tennessee Titans. They're not a great football team in my mind, but, they check a lot of boxes. 8, I have the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, too high, I heard someone say. No, it's not. It's not. 9, I had questions here. I originally had the Cowboys slotted in at 9, but I've moved them down to 10. I mean, you lost to Green Bay. Come on. I can't push you up for that.
No.
9, I have the Giants.
Yeah, Big Blue.
And just missing for me, Seattle at 11. They moved down a spot or two.
Who slides in at 10?
And Dallas.
Dallas, okay.
Seattle at 11. Cincinnati 12. And the Jets 13th.
Okay.
I didn't want to ding them too much for having a bye.
All right. Well, that brings up me. I'm with you on Kansas City. You had Philly at 2?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. We're in the same spot there. 3, I'm gonna go a little against the grain here. So we're gonna have our first difference. I'm gonna put Buffalo still there. I'm gonna put them at 3. Over 2 teams with better records. I'm gonna go with the Vikings at 4. I'm gonna go with the 49ers at 6, which means
Who was 5?
yeah, I was gonna say the 49ers at 5. That's why I kind of pivoted, but
So who did you have at 3 and 4? You had the Bills
Well,
at 3.
I got Bills at 3. 4 is
Vikings
the
at
Vikings. 5, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
4. Okay.
I'm gonna go
So
with,
we have the same teams in the top
yeah,
5.
just a little different order. I'm gonna go with the Niners at 6. I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Titans at 7. I think they're just a little bit better than Baltimore, who I have at 8. Mostly I think it's because of I always say Travis Henry, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So number 9, I'm gonna get ahead of the curve here a little bit. It looks to me like Tampa Bay might have figured something out in the last couple of weeks, so I'm gonna put Tampa Bay in the 9 hole.
I'm still on a wait and see with them.
Yeah, I'm going to get a little ahead of the curve here. And the number 10 is a toss-up to me between the Chargers and the Giants, but I'm going with the Giants. I got the Giants at 10. Like you, I have the Cowboys just outside my top 10 at 11.
Well, I have mine at 10.
Oh, you have the Cowboys at 10. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I didn't crush them for losing to Green Bay, but I took them down a couple of pegs.
yeah, I got them at 11. I'm going to put New England at 12, Seattle at 13, and the Chargers at 14, and the Jets at 15. So, sorry, Jets. They're still middle of the pack to me. There you have it.
Well, I didn't want to crush them too badly for a bye.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I put him in the top 10 last week because I told Scott I would, not so much because I really believe it. So my convictions on a fake ranking only lasted a week, apparently, with no reason to knock him out. But hey, I'm entitled to change my opinion, right? It's mine, right? I get to change it when I want.
I didn't think I had a reason to knock Seattle out, but I did. And it gets tougher as you go along. I thought things would fall into place a little better.
Nope, not this time. Not this time.
Wow.
So there you have it. All right. So that is our NFL power rankings. I'm beginning to get a good sense, Rich, of the haves and the have-nots in the NFL. Like, I'm really beginning to feel reasonably comfortable, like, who's actually good. It doesn't mean I have any clue who's going to be anyone on any given week, but I feel good about some of these teams, like having an idea of what they're capable of. Like, I have a pretty good sense now of what the Giants can be. I have a pretty good sense of what the Cowboys and the Titans are. Some of these middle of the road teams that have good records. I know what Baltimore is. The teams that I'm still kind of unsure about are, what is Buffalo this year? I know they're good, but what are they? Are they elite Super Bowl good, or are they just below that good? I'm not sure yet.
We saw them go through this last year.
We did.
And come out just fine. That's why I'm not ready to say, the sky is falling
No, I think
Although
that's
it's going to in a day or two.
fair.
We have the same top 5, just in a slightly
Different order. San
We
Fran.
have 6 and 8 just reversed,
Right.
and we have 7 the same. So there's not really a lot of difference in our top 10.
San Francisco is standing right now on a trampoline, and the question is, are they gonna fall through, or are they going to leap into the sky? I don't know which direction they're gonna go, but they have all the necessary tools in my mind for it to be the latter.
They should go up.
I agree.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens with them. They were
no question.
And then on the flip side, there's a handful of teams over the last couple of weeks that I have cemented my opinion on. A lot of times I've had to switch all the way around because I've been beaten into submission. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Raiders. Come on, Josh McDaniels.
I got that same look about the
call you Josh McDoofus.
The Rams.
The Rams, yep, it's the other one. Josh McDoofus. Oh, and by the way, we're talking about Miami and how they figured it out. They're leading the NFL in passing yards per attempt. You know why that is? Because they have good chemistry. You know why they have good chemistry, don't you? Because they have a chemistry teacher on the sideline masquerading as a head coach.
You can say all you want about the way he looks. I know he looks like a frustrated IT guy working too many hours. This guy's a damn good coach.
He's getting it done, man. He absolutely
is. He's an excellent offensive coach. And no, we didn't punish the Jets.
I mean, it's not an unfair point. I'm sorry. I just struggle to believe in them. I really do. Like, they don't, you know what it is? I'll tell you the difference between them and the Giants. It's not just one game, which is what it is in the standings. The difference to me is I see the offensive identity for the Giants. I know exactly how their offense is going to roll and how they can have success and how they can have failure. I feel like the Jets offense feels like a series of random events to me. Like I don't feel they have like a go-to. I don't feel they have a blueprint per se. It feels like patchwork to me. And it's worked, but that's why I'm not as confident in them, because I just don't see the blueprint. I see it with the Giants. I see the limitations, but I see what the plan is and how it's going to be built. Like, in other words, we're building the house from the foundation up. I don't know 100% that the Jets have an offensive foundation just yet. That's my problem that's why I struggle with the Jets. They're a team I struggle to really rate. I'll freely admit it. I don't know what to make of them. I really don't.
3 weeks ago, I said the Jets could have the offensive and defensive rookies of the year on the same team. I still feel that way about the defensive guy. It's not that I am downplaying the Jets. I think that loss on offense was too big.
Yeah.
Too big. And there's not another person on the roster right now to fill that role. There's guys who could step in. That doesn't mean they're filling that role.
No, it's true. Well, there you have it. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Let's wrap up the hour. Why don't we get to some NHL scores, and we will take a look at some let's take a look a little bit at some of these NBA games. How about that?
Oh, I've got a lot of notes on those.
All right, so we'll take a look at last night's action in both the NHL and the NBA. Hour 2, we'll have news you can use. Top 5, we'll look ahead to some NBA games over the next day or so. That's what's on tap the rest of the way. Back after this, the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112. 586.
All right, we're back here on the Gary Ayd Show. Welcome aboard. And we were just talking about the Jets. Scott, our resident Jet fan, always active in the chat, so we appreciate that. He says, gotta hassle you guys. To be honest, I'm not sure either, but being a Jets fan, I gotta talk smack while I can because I don't know how long it's gonna last. Well, there you go. I totally understand, Scott. Makes perfect sense to me.
That's true.
It's true. And it's exactly my point of like why I have a hard time rating them, because I don't know how much it's going to last either. And I try to do these rankings, not just from the standpoint of where teams are right now, but what I feel they're capable of sustaining. I try to balance the reality of what's occurred versus my expectation of what's possible for a given team. It's not an exact science, of course, but that's what I try to do. Anyway, all right, let's take a look at some NHL scores. Rich, what do you got?
Had a good night last night in the league. Let's start locally. Jack Hughes had 2 goals as his legend just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Vitek Vanacek solid in goal. The Devils beat Montreal 5-1. That's their 10th straight win. They're 13-3 and tied for first in the East. Believe it or not.
Hey.
I didn't expect that when the season started, but they are playing so well. Bo Horvat had a goal and 2 assists last night. You'll see a theme here. Vancouver handled Buffalo 5-4, the Sabres' 6th straight loss. Alex Tuch had a goal and 2 assists in the loss. See what I mean? Alex Killorn had a goal and 2 assists as Tampa Bay beat Dallas 5-4 in overtime. His goal was the game winner. Michael Bunting had 2 goals. John Tavares got his 400th career goal. Toronto all over Pittsburgh 5-2. Alexander Barkov had a goal and 2 assists as Florida beat Washington 5-2. Solid game by Sergei Bobrovsky in goal. Columbus beat Philadelphia in overtime 5-4. UC Saros made 33 saves on 34 shots. Nashville beat Minnesota 2-1. Anaheim beats Detroit 3-2 in overtime. Timo Meier gets a goal with less than 3 minutes left to lead San Jose over the Vegas Golden Knights. Jack Eichel got his 10th in a loss for Vegas. A few NHL notes. San Jose Sharks GM Mike Greer says the team will listen to trade offers for Erik Karlsson, provided that he's agreeable to it. Right now, it looks like he is, but a lot will depend on whether he wants to waive his limited trade clause.
Limited.
Columbus Blue Jackets forward Johnny Gaudreau had an epic response after he got booed every time he touched the puck by Islanders fans the other night. He said, "I don't get it. I didn't talk to the Islanders once during the whole free agency." He took it in stride, but maybe that's why they're mad, seeing as how you're not far from the area.
Boo. Boo. Boo you. Oh, man. That's pretty funny.
Everybody wanted him to come close to home, and he ended up in Columbus. Philly wanted him. Jersey wanted him. The Islanders wanted him. Jonathan Drouin's out for 4 to 6 weeks with an upper body injury. That costs Montreal some depth that they can't afford to lose right now. The annual NHL GM meeting is in March in Palm Beach, Florida, and they've already announced the itinerary. They're going to discuss rules. The topics are things like added video reviews for over-the-glass penalties. I don't want too many reviews, guys.
Can we review the decision to review reviews?
I wish we would. Reducing failed coaches' challenges from a minor penalty to a lost timeout. Yeah, if you lose a challenge, the other team gets a 2-minute power play, and I think that's a lot. And clarifying the definition of a distinct kicking motion. I've seen a lot of goals kicked in, and it's not easy to tell. It really isn't. You could kick a goal in, and it looks fine, but sometimes if you just have your foot the right way and it goes off it, that's not a kicking motion. I don't know if they know where to go with this. That's hockey for today.
Hey, here we go.
I named that thing, that goal and 2 assists. I'm calling it the servo hat trick. Any fan of Mystery Science Theater will know what I'm talking about. But it had to have a name because everybody's getting a goal and 2 assists.
Here we go. All right, let's take our attention over to the NBA. Couple of crazy games last night. First, let's start locally. Quality win for the New York Knicks last night. 118-111 against the surprising Jazz. And you want to know why the Jazz are surprising? All you have to do is look at who their top performer was in this game. Kelly Olynyk. Yeah, that guy. 27-11. Because, yeah, why not? Someone's got to do it, right? Jalen Brunson with 25 points and 8 assists for the Knicks in the 7-point win. Knicks used a dominant fourth quarter to really pull away in this one. 35 points in the fourth against 26 for the Jazz. That wasn't even their highest scoring quarter of the game. They scored 38 in the second quarter. So they scored about 2/3 of their points in 2 quarters. They really had dominant second and third quarters. Brunson, I mentioned, with the 25 points. Cam Reddish, again, Rich, getting some minutes and getting it done. An efficient 7 of 13, 2 of 5 from 3, 19 points in 33 minutes.
I noticed that.
RJ Barrett didn't shoot well, but did get you some points. Julius Randle shot okay. Almost 50%.
5 for 11.
Yeah, close to 50%. Pretty good. 15 points. But really, this game, to me, Rich, came down to the Knicks defense finally stepped up a little bit. I know 111 doesn't sound like a defensive lockdown, but considering the league average this year is about 115, last I heard, it's 4 points below league average and a whole lot of points. I think 6 points or so, 7 points behind the Knicks average for the season we were talking about yesterday.
Right. And Jalen Brunson outplayed Mike Conley, which was a key. Yeah. It was a key.
Yep, absolutely.
So for all the talk yesterday we both had with Brunson's defense, he more than showed out.
Yep, he did great.
They also had 24 off the bench from Quickly and Sims, which is nice. And your boy THT showed out with 10 points in 14 minutes.
More importantly for the Jazz, way more importantly, they wore the Purple Mountain uniforms, which are the best uniforms in NBA history.
Those are incredible.
I wish that was their standard uniform. I'm watching this last night and I'm thinking, like, I'm looking for, where's Matt Harpring? Where's 36-year-old Karl Malone? Oh, wait, it's 2022 still, but they got the uniforms. I love it. Love it, love it.
They do. They got that right.
Oh, those are the best uniforms I've ever seen. Now, another game that's quickly becoming a rivalry, Rich, and you know this as well as anyone, being the Clipper fan you are. Mavericks edged the Clippers last night, 103-101. These two teams, there's some bad blood here.
There is, and the Mavericks had a big lead. A big lead. They had a 22-point lead at halftime. Dallas got outscored 33-15 in the third period. It was a great comeback. A great comeback. It was just marred in the last minute of play by a couple of bad turnovers. And by the last person I thought I'd see them from, Paul George. He had a decent night. He had 23, 7, and 6 assists, a couple of steals, 6 assists, but 10 turnovers.
For George?
Yes.
That's a lot of turnovers.
It is.
For one
2
player.
in the last minute.
10's a lot of turnovers for one player. That's
2 in the last minute, and that killed him.
Yeah, that's really tough.
It didn't help that Reggie Jackson had an off night. Nick Zubats didn't have a great night. But Nick Batum really stepped in with 22 and 5 in his 26 minutes, and they needed it. John Wall was good off the bench. And he had to be, because Jackson was not good starting. And Luke Kennard only played a couple minutes, and I don't know what happened.
All I can say is Luka Doncic is a beast.
Oh, geez.
That's not breaking news, but I just have to say he's a monster.
Everywhere. Everywhere. 35, 11, 5 assists, 3 steals. He was all over the court.
Efficient shooting, 11 of 22, 2 of 5 from 3, perfect from the line, 11 for 11. I like this Mavericks team. I tell you what, right now, I think yesterday I was saying if I was going to handicap it right now, I think the Nuggets maybe come out of the West. I think they might play the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. This team is really good. And it's growing on me the way they're using Christian Wood. I didn't like it at first, but it's growing on me. A couple more scores I want to run through real quick. First, we got
I would like to see Christian Wood play more than 23 minutes. I mean, he had 15 and 7, but I'd like to see him play 30 minutes, even if he does come off the bench.
The Nets with a huge game, 121 points. Oh, but they lost by 32. Wait, what? Yeah, the Kings. Yeah, those Kings. They dumped 153 on the Nets. Is Steve Nash in the house? That's his style of defense, baby. Him and D'Antoni would be proud. What a disaster. Oh, my goodness.
Steve Nash is sitting somewhere laughing, cashing paychecks.
153 by the Kings. That is beyond embarrassing. I mean, Reggie Theus wasn't coming out of that tunnel. I didn't see Mitch Richmond. 153?
No, but did you see Terrence Davis come off the bench with 31 and 9 rebounds?
I had to ask the attendant in the building if they ID'd this guy. I didn't know who this guy was. And then boom, he shows up with 31 points. I mean, this is laughable. I mean, you got Davis, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in double figures. And Keegan Murray, maybe their most promising player, barely did anything.
He only played 12 minutes.
Right. Something's got to give here. Look.
What I saw of this, Sabonis was good.
Yeah,
really good. He is just such a good, solid player. So's Harrison Barnes.
Kevin Huerter's good. He actually led the starters in scoring. He was second on the team in points this one with 19.
Yeah, and Fox had 14 and 9 assists. Yep. It's not the worst team in the league.
No, it's not.
It really isn't. But
150.
Malik Monk had 15 and 6 off the bench.
I mean, you have to try to give up that many points. I mean, look at this. They lost every quarter the Nets did. They won the fourth quarter by 1 point. They gave up more than 35 points in every single quarter.
Yeah.
What?
Well, and you hear Kevin Durant after the game with the hood all pulled all the way up, and he's saying, well, they just made shots and they didn't miss them all night. Well, maybe if someone would stick a hand in someone's
You're supposed
face.
to guard them. Yeah, but I mean, he's not wrong. You look at some of these shooting numbers: 7 of 10 for Herter. You had 6 of 6 for Sabonis, 5 of 8 for Barnes. Fox and Murray didn't shoot well. Combined, they went 7 of 18. But Davis, you mentioned off the bench, 12 of 16, 7 of 10 from 3. I mean, you just go on and on. Malik Monk, 6 of 9. I mean, this is crazy. Just
Isn't
absolutely
it?
crazy. I don't know, man. Giving up 153 is that's a big number. Even in the modern NBA where scoring is freer and simpler than it's been in a long time, that's a lot of points.
It's an embarrassment. It really is.
That's a
You
real lot of points.
cannot. A team could not give up that many points if they tried to. How does this happen?
I don't know. I felt like I was back in 1977 when these type of scores were like regular occurrences. Like a normal game was like 145 to 139. It was awesome. But, you know.
How do you think? I know we're over, but unless you want to talk about this more later.
What's that?
How do you think the Philly crowd is going to react to the Nets on when was that tonight?
Yes, that's tonight. They're gonna cheer to put Ben Simmons in. We want Ben. We want Ben. That would be the ultimate troll move by the Philly fans to like narcissistically be like, we want Ben. Why? Because Ben stinks. That's why we ruined him, and now we want to play him.
And this is
maybe I'm a jerk.
This is not just a little slip up.
Oh no.
This is brutal.
Yes. Yes.
This team has problems. More problems than Kyrie.
Oh yeah.
More problems than a lot of things people have been going on about. This team has serious issues.
Well, they have
and I wonder,
the
the Philly game is not tonight. I think it's tomorrow.
There's not one leader anywhere in this organization, Rich. Not one.
No.
That's their biggest problem.
And I know you love to slag Nash, but is this any better?
It's not any worse.
Yes, it is.
It's about the same.
No, it's worse.
I mean, this game was
You
worse.
gave up 153 points to the Sacramento Kings.
No, I know. This was their lowest game, that's for sure. But I think
Durant's taking no leadership role here.
Well, he's not a leader. We all know that. That's no shock there. This guy hasn't led anything in his whole life. I mean, say what you will, he might have been the best player, but Russell Westbrook was the leader and catalyst of that team that went to the NBA Finals 10 years ago. He was the leader of that team, not Kevin Durant. It's, you know, it's just what it is. It sucks. I mean, right now, there's no saving this. This is why I was so keen on them hiring Udoka, because Jacques Vaughn's a fine, solid NBA coach.
Udoka's not saving this.
But he would be the only person in the room in any organization that was an actual proven leader. That's what I'm saying. They don't have a single leader in this organization right now. Not the ownership, not the front office, not the coach, not any of the players, nobody. At least if you sign a guy like Udoka, he's a leader of men. Now, would he fix their problems? No, the roster's flawed, but he would get the best out of it. And there would at least be a power structure where there was, think of it like a cell. He would be the nucleus of the cell.
Like he was in a cell, all right.
He would be the nucleus of the cell. Right now, this is a team that doesn't have a nucleus. There's no center of the cell. There's no structure or organization. It's just a bunch of loose parts floating around in membranes and cyberspace.
Well, and I think as Kevin Durant goes, the rest of this mess goes. And I don't think Udoka can save this.
I think it makes them a lot better because it gives them leadership.
I don't.
It gives them a point of unity. It gives them a point of consolidating some leadership. Decision-making becomes more top-down. There would be a lot more structure. I think it would make a huge difference. Now, does it fix everything? Of course not, but it makes a huge difference. But right now, they have nobody in this organization. Not one person can lead anything. And to me,
I
that's the
think it
problem.
makes some difference.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes any huge difference. I don't know if this is fixable without tearing this roster.
Oh, no, you have to
shreds.
blow this roster up. But you need someone to lead the team through that redevelopment phase. And again, I think that someone is Udoka. I think he's a leader, and I think he would help them immensely because he would give them a starting point of leadership for communication purposes. And then you're right. You have to still, there's going to be a lot of work to do with this roster, but I don't want to start a rebuild when I don't have the tour guide, so to speak, in place. Right now, I don't want to start a rebuild if I'm a Net fan because who's leading the rebuild? The same people that got us into this mess. This is what happened to the Knicks for all these years. You know, like you're going to continually rebuild. Well, if you keep letting the same people that screwed it up the first 12 times rebuild the 13th time, why is it going to get any better? It's not.
Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want to bring in a new GM with a coach already in place. I don't. I bring in a GM first.
Yeah, that's the right order to do things in. That's the right order to do things in. I would, if I was Joe Tsai, I would be looking around the league for GMs or front office people who have a favorable opinion of Udoka as a coach, because that's the guy I want. If I'm a Net fan, that's the guy I want right now. I would be pursuing that with all your worth. Now, it is sensible to hire a GM that wants to work with him. I agree with that. You want those two guys on the same page. And
yes,
I guess you nominally hire the GM first, but I'm basically using their view of Udoka as a cornerstone factor in my decision of who I'm going to hire for the GM position.
See, if they don't look at it that way, though, it's a moot point.
If who doesn't? The Nets or the
Nets? Yeah,
right.
They had a chance to hire.
Well, I'm saying what I would do. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to screw it up more because that's what they always do.
But they don't know what they're going to do.
Well, that's the whole problem. That's why there's no leadership, and that's why it's a mess. But I'm saying what I would do. Because the first thing you need to fix here, in my opinion, is you have to have a center of leadership. The buck stops and starts here. We need that. Whether it's on the court, in the front office, or on the sidelines, one of those three places has to have some leadership. Right now, there's none in any of those three places. The only real leader I see that's available right now is Udoka. Whether it's a GM, a player, or a coach. So get a leader. If there was a player that was available that I thought they could get that was a true leader, then I'd get the player. They just need some leadership at some level in the organization, and they have none right now. Zero.
Well, unfortunately, even if you brought a player in who was a leader, the problems will end up being Durant and Kyrie. Because if they don't take to this leader, it's just anarchy.
Right.
If they don't take to that coach, as good as he is, coaches don't always win those battles.
Oh, of course not.
It's a mess.
Oh, it's a real mess.
And I think you got to bring a GM in and blow this up and put the right coach in place.
I agree. No, I think it's time. I would trade Durant first. I would then trade Kyrie. There's two guys on this roster, maybe three, that I want to keep. I'd like to keep Curry. I'd like to keep Harris. And I'd like to keep Nick Claxton. Those three guys, I think, are pieces on a competitive team.
Okay, I have no problem with any of those.
The rest of this mess, you can have it. It's a disaster.
It frustrates the hell out of me to watch teams that don't care. This is a team that doesn't care.
They burned it to the ground.
Durant, the way he was in the postgame, he doesn't care.
Oh, not at all.
He's getting paid well for the next 4 years. And if you're not upset at giving up 153 points to a subpar team, you're not part of the solution.
Oh, no. Nope, not at all.
I don't know where Kyrie is or what he's doing. But
he's off bending the knee to appease his bosses. That's what he's doing. or he's not, and they're not letting him come back. One or the other. But either way, they're screwed. That's what it boils down to.
They are.
They're screwed, and it's time to tear this down. We agree on that. All right, let's take this long overdue break. We'll come back. We'll do the top 5, and we'll continue on. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave. All right. Hour 2. Gary Ayd Show. Here on The Cave. CaveTalkRadio.com is the website. The Cave Talk Radio app, Apple and Android devices, Facebook Live, Google App Store, of course, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Apple CarPlay. We're everywhere. And it is the top of hour number 2 with a little change because we went a little over, but that's okay. When
just a little.
When local teams give up 153 points, we tend to talk about it. Anyway, let's get to the top 5.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for King Talk Radio's Top 5.
They chase away Max from the cables. What do we got for the top 5 today?
Oh, when I hear Jack's voice, it just makes me feel good.
Absolutely.
Well, I was going to do something different today, but we had so much fun with the top 5 NFL finishes. Let's do it for the NBA.
So the top 5 finishes.
NBA game enders that you just... It could be a shot. It could be a sequence.
Yep. Okay. Oh, man.
It could be anything.
So
but
many.
The best ending games. Oh, I know you're going to have a list and you'll have to whittle it down.
Oh.
But we're not going anywhere, so let's have at it.
Oof. Robert Ory's 3. That whole sequence, I think, is funny. Kobe drives to the lane, misses a layup. Shaq gets an offensive rebound, point blank, somehow misses a put-in, which would have put them up. No, they would have tied the game. And then Divox, in his infinite wisdom, bats the ball in a way that almost was a kick-out pass right to Robert Ory, standing at the top of the key. That was pretty amazing. And then, of course, Ory makes the shot. That's one for me. That's not number 1 necessarily, but that's definitely on my list. Of course, Jordan had a number of them. Elo and Byron Russell, the push off. I mean, the championship winning shot. Sorry.
Stars always get away with that.
Yeah,
Stuff.
I don't really even have a problem with it. I'm just busting chops. Derek Fisher hit a crazy shot. It was like against the Spurs. It was like maybe the 2004 playoffs or 2005, like somewhere around there. There was 0.4 seconds left. They inbound the ball to Fisher in the near corner. He chucks up this crazy 3 and wins the game. It was insane. Kobe had a million game winners, a million clutch shots. I think one that always stands out to me was after Shaq fouled out. I think it was the 2001 or 2002 conference finals. Kobe just went crazy. It wasn't one particular shot, but it was just for the last like half of the fourth quarter. It was like the Kobe Bryant show, and he was like 20 years old at the time. I mean, it was crazy.
I remember that too. I also remember the one time Derek Fisher not getting a good shot was against Matt Barnes, but that's a whole nother story.
That's a different type of shot. Let's see.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah, Reggie Miller.
That was something.
Tracy McGrady scoring 9 points in whatever it was, 2 or 3 seconds. Also, I believe that was against the Knicks. The funny line about that, Yao Ming, who was his teammate at the time, was telling a story. Yao's always self-deprecating. He goes, yeah, there's this one time Tracy McGrady and I combined for 10 points in the last 12 seconds. Tracy had 9 of them and hit 3. I made a free throw back there.
Yeah. I remember that.
Oh, Yao Ming is funny. Let's see. Got to include another Kobe play, the lob to O'Neal against Portland. That was pretty epic.
Was that near the end? One ender though?
It wasn't. I
think there was some time.
It wasn't a game winner in this technical sense, but it was the play that broke the Portland Trail Blazers' spirits, and they never really contended the rest of the game. It was effectively the knockout punch, even though there was time left on the clock.
It was.
It felt like a game winner, even though there were like 2 or 3 minutes left at the time. Like it just felt like, okay, yeah, we're done. Because if you remember, that was the exclamation point on like a crazy fourth quarter comeback. The Blazers were up like 20 points in the fourth quarter, like midway through the fourth quarter, and that like put the Lakers ahead, I think, or something, like either they put them ahead or tied the game, and you just felt like Portland was just like, that was the end of them, in one big hammer.
That was tough. That really did turn things.
Yes, it did. I'd be remiss if I didn't include LeBron's block in the 2016 finals.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. They did a sports science episode on it about a year later. And
oh yeah, that's right.
They analyzed the amount of time that LeBron had to be off in order for that block to still happen. And it was something like 3/100ths of a second. Like it was like the timing of that play from a physics standpoint was basically mathematically impossible.
Right.
And I mean, watching that in the moment, it's one of those moments in sports, my life of watching sports, is probably 10 of them, if that many, where I can remember where I was, what I was doing, what I was thinking. Like that was a absolute snapshot moment in my life as a sports fan. That whole sequence, because it was perfect. It was LeBron made that play. Kyrie made a shot a minute later, or 30 seconds, 40 seconds later. And then Kevin Love, the guy not known for defense, particularly perimeter defense, stuffed Steph Curry on the three to seal the game. I mean, all three.
He did. He played perfect defense.
Yep. It was great.
We went to a game early the next season in Cleveland, and my daughter saw a shirt. It had the block on one half, the shot on the other, and she bought it immediately.
Oh, that's awesome. The block, the shot, and the stop.
And that's what I was thinking. I wish the stop would have been on there, because he really made Curry miss that shot.
Oh, he did. And then one other one I'm going to throw in there is LeBron in 2007, the whole fourth quarter against Detroit. He single-handedly beat them. This is a championship
he scored
team.
25 straight points. 25
straight points by himself. He's 21 years old against a recent championship team, still very much contending.
Yeah.
And here's a 21-year-old. I mean, I always, when I think about that particular quarter in that game, I always think about, I try to put myself in the mind of someone like, say, Richard Hamilton or Chauncey Billups. Now, they're both too proud to ever say it out loud, but they have to be thinking, we're screwed. If this 21-year-old is doing this to us now, we have no chance. We may as well be done. They had to be thinking that. Because, I mean, you're talking about a 21-year-old. I mean, that was epic. So
yeah, that. I'm just at a point where there's no words.
Couple old school ones I want to throw in for posterity's sake. I
was hoping so.
Kareem's hook shot in Magic's debut NBA game. Magic going crazy like they just won the NBA championship, and Kareem's like, "Hey, Buck, we got 81 games to go. Quit choking me."
Calm down. Yeah.
Chill out, man.
Bird steal and pass to Dennis Johnson.
Yep, that's one of the
great game winner.
Yep, no question. Another one. What about Don Nelson with the luckiest shot in NBA history to beat the Lakers in '69?
The two bouncer.
Oh, yeah, brutal. Every time I watch that, I'm like, that really goes in? Yeah, it still does.
He had, he made those because he had such a soft touch. And he really did.
Oh, that was so funny.
1976, Game 5 of the finals with
Phoenix and Boston,
Phoenix,
right?
and Havlicek hitting the shot.
Gar Heard.
Phoenix calling time, down by 1 with no timeouts left.
Oops.
White makes the technical So Boston's up by 2. The inbound to Gar Hurd to tie it and send it to the third overtime was one of the best sequences I have ever seen.
Yeah, that's a great one. What about Jerry West? Of course, hitting a half-court shot to send the game into the overtime. Was it against the Celtics or Knicks? It was against the Knicks.
Against
right?
the Knicks.
Yeah, right.
In game 3 of the
69 finals, was it?
the 70 NBA finals.
70. Yep. Okay.
And I remember Dave DeBusschere collapsing under the basket when that shot went in.
Can't blame him.
And the Knicks ended up winning the game in overtime. Now, the 3-point shots in effect, that game's over.
Right. Right. Yep. 9 years later, it would have been over.
Yeah. Because look at the Gar Hurd thing too. That might have been ball game.
Now, Mission Impossible. How in
Yeah.
hell am I going to rank all these?
You're getting no help from me because
Ugh.
I don't know where to begin.
Oh my God. And there's probably others we didn't even mention. There definitely are. I mean,
there are, but
I don't even know where to start. I guess the Robert Horry shot always holds sentimental value for me. So I think I'm going to put that at number 1.
plus that's what really pushed his legend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big Shot Bob.
Yep. It's a toss-up for 1, though. And when I do these every day, it's very seldom a toss-up in the spots 1 and 2. There's typically a clear winner and a clear runner-up, and sometimes a clear third. It's always difficult with 4 and 5. But in this case, I'm not even sure about number 1. My knees are weak on this selection, too, because the other contender for it is that LeBron block. I'm going to go ahead and change this. I'm going to put the LeBron block at number 1 simply because what it did for his legacy and what it did for the city of Cleveland. Lakers have won plenty of championships, and Robert Horry, even though he has a legacy, which is interesting for a role player, it doesn't really matter because he's not going to be talked about in infinity and beyond among the all-time greats. LeBron is and always will be. So that moment, I think, carried more weight because of who did it and when. And then, of course, for the city winning their first title in 50-something years, that was big too. So I'm going to put that at number 1.
Question. Is it just the block or is it the entire 3-play sequence?
To rise to the level of my number 1, it's just the block.
Okay.
Of course, the whole sequence was amazing, but the significance of that block to me is the exclamation point of the whole thing. It's what stands in my mind. I know Kyrie made the shot. I know what Kevin Love did. I understand the whole thing. I know J.R. Smith got back to, turn Iguodala's dunk into a layup, which allowed LeBron a chance at the block. I understand there was a lot of moving parts, but that to me was the exclamation point, and it just is etched in my memory forever.
And that was a mark of a great team against an all-time team.
Yep, that's right. Back from 3-1. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So that's number 1. You move the Horry shot to number 2. I'm going to say that O'Neal and Kobe lob was number 3 for me. Like, I remember watching that game. I remember Bob Costas calling it on NBC. And I remember just the deflating, you could hear the exhalation of disappointment coming from the Trailblazer players through the television screen. I mean, it was just like, even though it wasn't a game winner, it was a series ender. It was a game ender. Like, there was zero chance that the Trailblazers had the mental fortitude to come back after that one. It was a total kick in the pants. And it was a cool play.
Yes.
So
very.
I'm going to go 3 there. 4, I think I'm going Don Nelson, because what the hell?
Wow.
It's just a crazy shot. It doesn't make any sense. Like, so, and it was
Sam Jones hit one of those crazy shots too.
Yes, he did. One of my
Late
all-time
in the
favorite
game.
players. One of my all-time favorite players, Sam Jones, right there. Recently passed away about a year ago. Rest in peace. But he was awesome. 5, Jerry West's half-court shot comes to mind. The Havlicek, Gar Hurd sequence in Phoenix certainly is a contender.
Yeah, that made my top 5. That was I remember Rick Barry screaming on television, "Oh my God, he made it!" when he hit that shot.
Yeah. I didn't realize Rick Barry was even calling that game. Was he just recently retired at that point?
No.
He was an active player still. Oh, yeah, they won the championship the next year, right?
No, they won the year before.
Oh, in 75, right. Yep.
Yeah.
77 was the is that the
Blazers.
Blazers, right? Yeah. Yep. So, I guess I'm gonna go at 5. I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat for not including a Jordan shot if I don't here, but I mean, I guess I could include the Byron Russell shot. It was an exclamation point on the end of a long championship run, so I guess I'll include that one. Begrudgingly.
See, I didn't have that one. I had the Elo shot.
Okay, yeah, either one. I'll include one
because his Elo was going up, and he was going up.
Oh yeah,
Elo did have some athleticism.
Oh yeah, he was a good player.
Jordan
right?
kept going up.
Yep.
And you see Elo like trying to reach for him.
Yep.
And it was just incredible.
Yeah, that was a good shot. I'm going with the Byron Russell one though. So my top 5: LeBron's block, Robert Ory's 3, Shaq to Kobe lob. Number 4, we're going with Jerry West's half court shot against the Knicks in the finals, and number 5 is Jordan's game winner against the Jazz and Byron Russell.
I have the same number 1 you do. I have the same number 2 you do. My number 3 was the Havlicek-Garherd sequence. My number 4 was the steal by Bird to Dennis Johnson.
Now there's a steal by Bird.
And my number 5 was the 77 finals. Portland coming back from a 2-0 deficit. Was Walton blocking Julius Erving right near the end of the game. And it was a 2-point game at the time.
Couple of runner-ups. We mentioned the Bird steal. You put it in your top 5. I had to leave it out. One we didn't mention, it just occurred to me. And Havlicek steals it over to Sam Jones.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Because that was the finals game, too.
Yes, I thought about that the same way I thought about the Reggie Miller one. And the Jordan Elo one, I thought about it, but there's too many.
There's too many. You got to leave something out.
Yeah, and I had 3 that should have been there, and I left them out.
Yeah, it's hard. It really is. But I did want to at least mention the Havlicek steal there because I totally forgot about it. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
good.
4 that I left out.
It's a lot, man. I'm telling you.
It really is.
Well, there we have it. Good stuff. All right.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Let's take our break. We'll come back and we will get into some NBA games to watch for tonight and tomorrow. And then we'll do news you can use to wrap it up. That's what's on tap the rest of the way. Back after this, the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do. And you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
And we're back on the Gary Ayd Show. I'm not sure what happened. I think one or both of the cats might have decided it was finally time to do away with our gregarious host. But we should be seeing him here any minute. In fact, here he is right now. I thought one of the cats might have gotten you. Or both.
They tried. They absolutely tried.
However, did you get away?
I bribed them with food.
Ah,
They like me until there's food around. Then I'm not so important anymore.
it's the best way to do it. Yeah, I was speculating how they could have done it. I thought it would have been one or both.
Well, Max is definitely the ringleader.
I can see that.
See, Toby's the distraction. He's the one that tries to.
In fact, I felt that. So
That's right. Yeah. Look, Toby's like the smoke screen. He's like the harmless like attraction to get your attention. And then Max comes in and goes, rah!
You're going down.
You're going down. That's right. All right. So what do we got in the NBA tonight, Rich?
Oh, some interesting games. First, let's take a look at the ESPN doubleheader. First game is Boston at Atlanta. Second, Golden State at Phoenix. Both interesting. I would have seriously considered going with Miami at Toronto for the first game, because I think that's a pretty even matchup. And the one game I do want to see. There's 10 games tonight overall. Minnesota at Orlando. Can Minnesota get well against Orlando, who's been playing a little better? Oklahoma City at Washington. The Thunder are 6-8. And that's no way to tank. Pacers at Charlotte. Indiana's 6-6. Charlotte's closer to tanking. Of course, Boston and Atlanta, Miami at Toronto. Take your pick. I think they're both going to be good games. I'll really be paying attention to Heat Raptors. Chicago at New Orleans. The Pelicans have been impressing me. They looked good yesterday. They're really starting to put things in place.
I agree.
I'd like to see some of that. Cleveland at Milwaukee. Who's playing for the Bucks?
That's the question.
Is Holiday back?
Is Giannis back?
Giannis is fine.
Okay.
Giannis is going to play. I don't know if everyone's going to play for Cleveland. I don't know anything about Allen or Mitchell, although I've heard Mitchell will most likely be on the court.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at this injury report. Holiday, Middleton, we know that. Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Joe Ingles. My goodness. I mean,
Ingles has been on for a while.
I'm available tonight, guys. I'll make the trip to Milwaukee. You need a warm body to get dunked on. I got you. I can do that.
Take care of that, and you'll celebrate with brats and beer afterwards.
I'm telling
Come
you,
on,
man. Let's go. I'm down.
How can you not?
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
No, I said I'm ready. Holiday is a game time decision. Looks like same with Pat Connaughton and AJ Green. And no update yet on Middleton or Matthews. Both expected to be out until at least November 18th. So, which is only a couple days away, but
I think it's going to be a little longer for Middleton.
Now, what's interesting is I see Grayson Allen on yesterday's injury report when I open it up to the full view, but not on today's. So I'm assuming that means that Grayson Allen's probably going to play because he was a game time decision yesterday. So,
well, yeah. Why, if he's just coming off something, why play him 2 games in a back-to-back?
Right, exactly.
Houston at Dallas is one of those mid games. Those 8:30 games don't make TV. But I'd like to see how Dallas comes off a back-to-back, even though it's only Houston, and Houston is so well coached. I got to stop picking on him.
You are just a savage. I mean, the only guy you were harder on is good old Doc.
Well, you know something? You drafted this kid for your future. Use him.
Why isn't he playing? I mean, it's a reasonable question.
He's playing. He's not getting the ball.
Right.
Use him. You're building around him. The Knicks at Denver, the 7-7 Knicks and the 9-4 Nuggets.
That's an interesting game.
Knicks got their hands full in this one. We'll see how that defense is tonight.
I got one prediction for that game. If the
there
Knicks,
will be points scored.
Yes.
A lot of them.
Yes.
Okay.
If the
What's
Knicks,
your prediction?
If the Knicks are going to be in this game and even win it, they're going to be led tonight by Julius Randle. Why do I say that? Because the one type of guy that has always given Jokic problems in his NBA career are strong, athletic fours that play in space. I think Porter's not big and strong enough to guard Randle. So I think Jokic will be mostly on him. And I think Randle is the type of player that Jokic struggles with. I could see Randle having a big game today. In fact, let me go over the Resorts World's book real quick. I want to see if I can find a betting odd, like a prop bet, because I think Randle's going to have a big game tonight. I'm feeling a big game for Julius Randle. These are the type of guys that Jokic struggles to deal with, and I don't see the Nuggets having another sensible option. So I want to see. Let's take a look. Mike, first bucket. No, most points, player props. Here we go. Okay. Looks like we lost Rich Anselmo. Are you back?
I am back. I've been waiting for you.
All right. So
I don't know what happened, but
so I was saying that I think Jokic always struggles with strong athletic fours that play well in space. He's always had a hard time guarding those type of people. It's no surprise that whenever they play the Lakers, even when the Nuggets beat the Lakers, which is most of the time, Davis always gives them a hard time. I think Julius Randle's in position to have a big game tonight. So I'm going to go ahead. His over and under is 21.5. I'm betting the over on this.
Really?
I think Julius Randle has a big game tonight, and I think that gives the Knicks a chance to keep this close. I'm not going to say I think the Knicks will win, but I think they'll be in a position to win, and I think it's going to be because Randle has a big night. I'm expecting 25 or better from Julius Randle tonight.
I don't think Jokic guards him at all.
They get put Porter on him?
I think Jokic guards either Hartenstein or Robinson when he's in. And Hartenstein's been starting.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
I don't see him guarding a forward in this.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then I think what I said doesn't hold water. But I do think that because what are you going to put Porter on him?
Maybe. I don't see why not.
Does Porter have the discipline to not get into early foul trouble and then force them to put Jokic on him for stretches?
Remains to be seen, but I think they'll put someone else in. I don't think they'll waste what Jokic gives them on offense on him defensively.
So they're going to hide him on Hartenstein or Robinson.
Robinson, yeah. I mean, that's what I would do.
Yeah, it does make sense to do that.
I don't want him running out 25 feet away from the basket.
Right. What else we got today?
And that last game.
Yes.
This is a chance for the Warriors to get better against a Suns team who is not impressing me. I know they're without Chris Paul. I know they're playing some close games, but they're not finishing games. And I'm kind of concerned.
That Milwaukee-Cleveland game, if it weren't for all the injuries, would be like must-watch television tonight.
It still might be.
If Holiday plays, then I'm in. That's the
big
one. Heat and Raptors is an interesting game.
That one I'm really going to be paying attention to.
That might, I know it sounds crazy because they've played like 15, 14 games, but that game might have significant playoff implications in terms of seeding down the line, because these two teams look like they're going to be bunched up with each other. And, you know, those head-to-heads against teams that you're in the same conference in and relative same spot in the standings, they matter. This is the type of game that when we're looking up again in February, March, and April, we might look back and think, man, that was an important game.
Yes, absolutely.
So, like, this is why I always tell people, like, I know it's easy to like just like not get into the NBA until the Christmas Day games and beyond, but like the truth is, these games that are played from the end of October till the end of December, that's a third or so of the season. They count.
And that's absolutely why I don't believe in reducing the schedule.
Right.
Some players want. Play 82. Everything's important.
Yep. Right. Thunder and Wizards, Timberwolves and Magic. You know, I know the Magic still stink. I watch as many Magic games as I can because Banchero is amazing.
I know.
He's as good a rookie as I've seen come in the NBA in at least 10 years. He's a monster. Yeah. You think he set his calendar yet to 2.5 years from now when he becomes a free agent can leave Orlando? How cynical is he? Let's say, how long did it take him to get cynical and jaded?
I hope it doesn't happen because I'm tired of it, to be honest. Players usually sign that second contract because they can make so much more staying.
Yeah, yeah.
It's after the second deal when the real max comes up that they lose them, or during the second deal.
Mm-hmm.
Nice night tonight in the NBA.
If Orlando could ever get its act together,
true,
it might be more appealing to stay there.
Well, I'd like to see him with a couple more pieces.
Yep. I mean, Orlando should be a place people want to be. I mean, it's a nice city in a great state. No state income tax.
Yeah.
What?
I've spent some time there, and I'm sorry, the Disney stuff just drives me nuts.
It's not your jam, huh?
No, and there's little kids running around everywhere. Oh, man.
Oh, come on, Ebenezer. It's not even Christmas yet, Scrooge. Come on.
It's how I feel.
Get off my lawn.
Let me do my news you can use.
Get off my lawn. I think you need a timeout, mister. Talking about the kids. Yeah, we need a timeout for Rich here. We got to send him to his room.
Oh, my God. Have you ever taken a business flight to Orlando with families going to Disney? I wanted to put myself into a 3-hour coma.
Well, I'm not going to do that, but I will give you a 2-minute break to cool down so we can get into news you can use.
Oh, I got a lot.
All right. Well, we got it right up next to finish up the show. It's the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Are you like me? You have health insurance, but you don't have dental insurance. Do you need to get to the dentist right away? Maybe you need an implant or some other major service. Well, I found a dental insurance plan that's just right for you. It's called Spirit Dental. Spirit Dental offers a $100 lifetime deductible, a huge network of dentists. And here's the best part. There's no waiting periods. Yeah, that means you can call right now and have real dental insurance for you and your family tomorrow and get that immediate coverage you want. Spirit Dental has plans for just a few dollars a day, up to $5,000 annual maximum, and coverage for implants. Whatever age you are, the dental insurance you need is a free phone call away. Now don't wait, and be sure to ask about Spirit's vision plan. Here's the number: 800-631-9229. 800-631-9229. That's 800-631-9229.
Hey friend, life happens and you need money. What do? You call the special toll-free number we're about to give you. We will send you a link to your phone with details on how you can loan up to $5,000. Couldn't you use $5,000 to pay for your rent, pay grocery bills, get your car repaired, or whatever you need? It's up to you. We don't care. We're just here to lend you the money. And we'll lend people money with good, bad, or no credit at all. Of course, some terms and conditions apply, and you'll see those on the link we're going to send you. So if you need up to $5,000 maybe as soon as the next business day, call this number right now. We will text you a free link with details.
Paid for by Money Mutual. Call 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. 800-586-7112. That's 800-586-7112.
All righty, we are back, and it's time for some news you can use. What do we got today, Rich?
Rory McIlroy urges Greg Norman to step down from his live role and end Gulf Civil War. First of all, Greg Norman has backed off a lot. McIlroy, the only one keeping the war alive is you. Shut up. I've had about enough of him. He's a pain.
You've always loved McIlroy.
He just won't shut his mouth. Freedom of speech is one thing. Freedom to be an idiot needs to be curtailed a little bit. Novak Djokovic is set to receive a visa to play the Australian Open. It's about damn time.
Wait,
I think
you're going
that
to
whole
let
thing
that
was-
unvaccinated heathen into the country?
Yes.
Oh my God, the world's going to end.
You know how many things there are in Australia that can kill you?
Yeah, the grass can kill you. They have
I'm not-
poisonous grass there.
I'm not worried about Novak Djokovic coming in.
No, I'm worried about like every insect on the continent, every reptile on the continent. Like I said, like they probably have like poisonous plants everywhere. Like, oh, forget that. Australia is a scary place.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, anytime you watch those like Animal Planet documentary things, it's like going through like the 10 deadliest animals or snakes of all time or whatever. It's always like in Australia, native to Australia. Yeah, I get it. Australia, you got to go in a bodysuit. I understand. Got it.
Yes, pretty much. Anthony Rizzo signs with the Yankees, 2 years, $34 million. Do they make it a package deal with Aaron Judge? Hal Steinbrenner says payroll won't stop the Yankees from re-signing Judge.
All right.
There's even talk of making him captain.
Woo! El
Will he
Capitan.
resign?
I
I
think
say he's got to see dollar signs,
it's going to be
not
the
captaincy.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be the Yankees or the Giants. I think it could go either way.
I concur. Washington Mystics head coach Mike Thibault retires from coaching. He's the all-time leading winning coach in the WNBA. Congratulations on a great career, sir. He is stepping up to the GM role, and his lead assistant last year, which happens to be his son, is taking over the head coaching role. Some good old-fashioned family nepotism. I like it.
You always need a little healthy dose of nepotism.
That's right.
It's like a good bit of garlic powder. It goes in everything.
I should be done. The Nationals released former first-round pick Seth Romero after his second DWI arrest. Okay. I have nothing else to add to
Don't
that.
drink and drive.
Well, outside of that,
Take a bite out of crime. Fred McGriff is coming after you, by the way. The crime dog is mad at you.
how many stupids does it take to make an ultra stupid?
I mean, you just need one J.R. Smith. You're good.
Well, yeah, JR's his own category. The NFL tabs Spain and France to host games in the next international expansion. And there's a report saying the Dolphins may be featured in that. Okay, apparently Spain and France, well, Spain has passed England as a number 2. They have actual team representation markets in Spain.
Okay.
And let's just make a division over there and get it over with.
Let's do it. It's coming.
Instead of taking home games away from teams, just do it. I know you want to.
I know you wanna.
Do it and get it done.
Do it. Expansion, relocation, or a combination? How does it get done?
A combination.
Yeah, we don't need Jacksonville. Just get him over there.
There's a few teams I think we can do it.
I mean, Detroit would be great. It might be a little too far away, but
You would not move Detroit. They would not lose their team.
They did 70 years ago. It's just kind of a shell.
It's not going to happen.
It's like the rest of the city, all in ruins. Never good.
Ron Rivera won't commit to starting a healthy Wentz over Heineke.
Good. Well, duh. Why would he commit to that? It should be the other way around. No, Heineke's our quarterback. Say it with me.
In other news, water is wet.
Yeah, yeah.
The sky is blue on most days.
Say it with me. Ron Rivera, this is for you. Heineke is my quarterback. See? That wasn't too hard. Heineke is my quarterback.
To say.
Yes. Do it. Do it.
Chris Mad Dog Russo blasts Bill Cowher for his comments on Colts coach Jeff Saturday. A lot of people have been slamming Cowher, but I am going to give you Russo's quote.
Okay.
Verbatim quote. The great Bill Cowher, who got his job without working in Milwaukee. If I had voice left, I'd yell this. Russo said during his Sirius XM radio show. The great Bill Cowher is annoyed that Jeff Saturday got a head coaching job. It's an insult to the profession. Pipe down. You know what's an insult to the profession? That you're walking into the CBS set and you've never worked a day in your life in broadcasting. Never a day, end quote.
We talked about that a couple of days ago.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, it's definitely a pot calling the kettle black situation. There's no question about it.
Russo didn't stop there. Again, quote, so let me get this straight. Radio stations, TV stations, and networks, they can hire people who have no experience whatsoever. Where you got a bunch of people working their rear ends off, making nothing, and they can't get their foot in the door. Yet Cowher wins a Super Bowl, does nothing after that, decide he wants to be a broadcaster. I'm not the biggest Russo fan because I hate people screaming at me, but man, I love this.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all.
Nope, he's not.
This makes perfect sense. Perfect sense.
I agree. All right, we got time for one more.
Ex-MLB player Yasiel Puig pleads guilty to lying about illegal sports betting.
He should call up one of Russo's old contemporaries and talk to Craig Carton about that. He knows a thing or two.
They're saying he can go to jail for this.
He should call up Craig Carton. He knows a thing or two.
What's he going to do? Recommend which cell to go in?
He might.
Puig is now playing professionally in South Korea. The crime carries a minimum sentence of 5 years in a federal prison. He agreed to pay a fine of at least $55,000, and he's going to make his initial appearance later this week in a U.S. District Court.
Well, there you go.
Considering how much the leagues love this gambling stuff, I don't want Puig to serve a day, and I want Pete Rose back in the Hall of Fame.
Here we go. Well,
or in the Hall of Fame, where he belongs.
That is about it. So we will see you again tomorrow. Rick Tittle's up next. Stay locked into the cavetalkradio.com app or check us out on the website, cavetalkradio.com. For Rich and Semmel, I'm Gary Ayd saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 to noon, the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.